juvenile fillies turf. 14 of them across the track. Field sent on their way. And the dance on the outside, broke a little sideways with Pro KK, but meanwhile it's going to be stopped. But running on now, and Somali Lemonade's got 8 to make up. They come to the top of the lane. Stop shopping. Maria's got a lot left. Stop shopping. Maria goes on. Sweet Cat is right there. Hard not to like. Royal Body is running on. Past the 8th ball way comes. Stop shopping. Maria full of runs. Still under a hand right as they come to the 16th. Stephanie's Kitten coming out late. Here's Stephanie's Kitten coming fast. Stephanie's Kitten, stop chopping Maria. Stephanie's Kitten's water. Watched the chances, broke smartly, but so did Terra from the Cape. On the inside, Sky Lantern, the Grey going well. If he can get through. Sky Lantern, the Grey looking for somewhere to run. Wide open. It's Terra from the Cape hanging on. Terra from the Cape tries to go all the way. On the outside now, here comes Flotilla in the light blue. Flotilla is absolutely flying. Watch the chances in there too. But Flotilla has gone right on by. And Flotilla is coming home to score. Flotilla has won it just about 2 in the end. It'll be Watch the Chances, Summer of Fun, coming on to finish third.
Live from the backstretch at Saratoga, this is the Handicappers Report. The Handicappers Report is brought to you by Pinnell's Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, Saratoga, just minutes from the track. The new Capital OTB wagering platform. Bet any place, anytime with the new Capital OTB wagering platform. And CapitalOTBBet.com, the premier wagering site in New York State.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Handicappers Report, coming to you live from the backstretch of Saratoga Racecourse. And walked out last night, Capital District, little to no humidity. Certainly that's how it felt in comparison to much of what we were experiencing the first week of racing. Right as of now, we're on the turf, and I don't know when it's going to be. I hope it's going to be, but I'm pretty sure we're not going to get to summer firm for a little while, at least, whether it's in the Capital District or up at Saratoga. So, as I like to say, even if the board says firm, you watch the races, you see clouds coming up, you might want to question yourself.
Yeah, I mean, the weather, it is what it is. Summer in New York, but you look at the weekend forecast, it looks pretty good.
Enjoyable.
Yeah, it looks enjoyable. You look at the bottom end of the forecast, you're seeing like 55 degrees at night. I mean, it's great. You sleep with the windows open. It
usually happens at the end of the meet.
Right. I always say you leave, you walk out of here on Travers night, and there's a little nip in the air. It's getting dark, and you're kind of like, well, it's over. It's over, Johnny.
I think it's really over. It's Ice Cream Man. Whose turn is it to buy? Whose turn is it to buy
that
ice
sounds
cream?
Pretty good to me. The Ice Cream Man is here. We're on the turf today. We lost a few races yesterday, including the steeplechase, but as my partner alluded to, I think we're okay today. I wonder if this is coming through the TV. But
I hope not. But it's also one of the things for the fans. This is kind of like a great day to come to the track. I mean, this is enjoyable. Last week, opening day, and then the second day was, beach weather. But this is so enjoyable from a fan standpoint to come out and enjoy. We also jumped yesterday. We got the Grade 1 jump today.
Yeah, double Grade 1s at the meet. The Smithwick today. Of course, the historic turf riders later in the meet, so that's a big deal. We lost to Kaiser yesterday. We hope, I had Sean Clancy on Racing Across America. He was hopeful they'll bring it back. It's a pretty good race. There was a really nice horse in it. So see what happens. We lost a couple other races throughout the card. I thought they did a good job, though, Naira, of keeping it together. They kind of knew, there was going to be some rain coming, but they had those two good turf races in the late pick 5 that were able to get going and get that sequence in. So I thought that was a good job, and it looks like we're in the clear. Coaching Club America Oaks weekend.
It never has. This is how long I've been in the game. There was a time when in the NYRA Philly Triple Crown, the Coaching Club American Oaks was the premier race. Then there was about 25 years where the Mother Goose was the premier race, and now the Acorn is the premier race. So I've touched all the bases in 40 years.
Of course, and even since I've been in the game, the CCA was 1.5 miles. I can remember what Tweedside winning the race was 1.5 miles. You're right, the Mother Goose.
They shortened up the CCA Oaks and came back to the 1.5 miles. Before you got into it was 1.5 miles in my youth, and then they shortened it, I want to say around 1990 to 1.25 miles. Then they brought it back for about 5 or 6 editions at 1.5 miles. And then 1.125 miles up here. And boy, I thought that was a great thing, 1.8 miles, 2 turns and such, but it doesn't seem like we get the battles between the two races, the Alabama and the CCA Oaks,
I know.
that I thought we were going to get.
And Kenny
what a
McPeak
surprise.
was going to run a couple horses, and he couldn't. So, I mean, that's one of the reasons. And listen, Malathat's really nice, but you shouldn't be ducking Malathat. I mean, just because she's 5 for 5. It's not like she's running 110. So it is what it is, but we'll take a quick break here. When we come back, Steve Bick live with the Depaula Play of the Day. Stay tuned.
Welcome to Albany County, an incredible destination to live, work, and play, with easy connections to more than a dozen cities from our vibrant modern airport. It's a short trip downtown to a hive of culture and amusement, from world-class shows at the newly renovated Times Union Center to reliving the past at the New York State Museum. From outdoor recreation to shopping to nightlife, Albany County has something for everyone. We'll see you soon.
Birdstone is an outside front. They're coming down to the finish. Can Smarty Jones hold on? Here comes Birdstone. Birdstone surges past. Birdstone wins the Belmont Stakes.
In front, but here comes High Chaparral. High Chaparral, the defending champ, to take it to Bob. These two arch rivals head to head with Joe Hart bearing down on them. It's going to be a 3-horse photo finish in the turn. Here's the wire. Photo finish.
The Capital Region has some of the most sophisticated horse racing fans in the country. That's why Capital OTB built the Clubhouse Racebook. Here you can wager year-round on the best horse racing from around the world. The Clubhouse also has monthly promotions including live bankrolls, handicapping contests, and so much more. Like sports? Watch your favorite teams on more than 30 screens in Legends Field Sports Grill. Food, sports, and the excitement of championship horse racing. Only at the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany.
At Depaula, we think of our customers as family, so we want your experience here to be fair and easy. Whatever you drive, any make or model, Depaula is at your service with 100 bays and master technicians. So come join the family and think Depaula for all your automotive needs. At Depaula, we think of our customers as family, so we want your experience to be fair and easy. Depaula can service any truck up to 72,000 pounds, so if you can drive it, Depaula can service it. So come join the family and think Depaula for all your automotive needs.
It's post time for today's Depaula Play of the Day.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Handicappers Report. I want to bring in our friend Steve Bick with the Depaula Play of the Day. Good morning, Steve.
Got me? Yeah?
Yes. Steve, how are you?
Pull up their audio.
Bueller? Bueller?
I knew
Steve,
this
good
was
morning.
A little bit of a,
We're here, Steve. We're not sure if we're ready, but we are here.
Nothing like live television.
Yeah.
Steve Beck, good morning. How are you?
All right, I got a thumbs up. Okay, yeah, go ahead. You're telling me to go ahead. It's the Depaula play of the day.
Yes, indeed.
I'm doing something that I don't normally do.
I don't think he's talking to us.
I'm going to use a maiden out of that 6th race.
Yes.
The state 2-year-old fillies, Derry Name. And it just feels like if there's a likely winner on the card, Derry Name, Waterville Lake homebred, kind of stands out. From a pedigree standpoint, Quality Road out of the hard-spun stake-winning mare Port McGee, she won the license fee downstate, the turf sprinter herself. So Derry Name working very steadily and very nicely. Got plus comments from the DRF clocking report. You get Joel Rosario. Obviously, Clement can win with a firster. And so Derry Name, 5-2, probably gets bet down a little bit below that. There are some horses that have started in this group that might take a little bit of money. George Abro with Quick Power Nap is a firster that's going to get a little money. But Derry Name, I think your Depaula play of the day today, and see who can't get back in the plus column. Had a decent run, as I mentioned earlier, yesterday after the opening day winner. So Derry Name, the 3 in the 6th race, your Depaula play of the day. Good luck, everybody.
All right. Thank you, Steve Bick, ladies and gentlemen. Turning our attention to the New York bred baby race on the turf. That's number 3, Derry Nant.
I will
Thought
say
it was
this.
an intriguing race, but we kind of talked about. I mean, one of the things, like for my baby races, there's 2 offsprings of Cantheros in there that kind of had my attention. Steve touched on one of them, but I
will
find
say
that they're
this.
wide open.
Yeah, if the money shows and if that horse can run a little bit, probably in a pretty good spot, because I didn't see a lot of pedigree in there, but it's a guessing game.
How much? A very close friend of mine and I were discussing years ago when turf sprints were clearly going to become a thing in New York. I'll take sprint pedigree dirt over turf pedigree.
100%. Maybe that's
Which is why I like the Cantheros.
Well, maybe that's why I stink at turf sprints too.
Right.
I feel like I really don't care as much.
They run like dirt races.
Especially, maybe it's a little different today with giving the ground, but in middle of summer when it's painted grass and they're going 7-2 for $40,000 maiden claimers, I don't care at all. I don't think, if you got Flintshire here or these pedigrees, that's great, but give me anything you want. I don't think it's that big of a deal as opposed to 2 turns, a proper race that when it really comes into
kickers
play.
race.
Yes.
It seems that they're run in a fashion like dirt sprints.
Absolutely.
And it also seems one thing that it seems to me to be different, and this is just anecdotal, that you either have the horses who dominate on the engine on the front end or up front, or you have that real late closer.
Sure.
That seems to be the one type of difference I see in turf sprints and dirt sprints. You don't see that very often in dirt sprints, that on a clear, fast racetrack, that horse picking it up in the 7th path and winning the race the last 75 yards.
And I've said it, even on the few shows that I've been on so far this summer, but, if you're playing these 5.5 turf races out here, you blink and you're entering the far turn. And if you're not tactical and you're not close, you're probably not getting there, because you better have tactical speed and the ability to put yourself into the race, because you get to that far turn mighty quick and that race is over in the blink of an eye. And if you're not there, if you're not close,
if you don't
it's
have
going
that
to be
position,
really tough.
Yeah, I mean, and the other thing also is, and I've said this many times before, regardless of what we say, what the track says, fast and firm and everything, watch your eyes. I've talked about this before, Equibase stating that the rails weren't up, and you look out at the video and all of a sudden you see these white temporary rails up. Well, the rails are up, but I've said this, and this is not a science thing, but on turf racing, you see sod come up or something. I don't mean flying up, behind you, but just coming up. It's pretty sure that that's not firm, regardless of what the board says. And we've also said this many times. There's a difference between April firm at Aqueduct for their few turf races, August 10th after 15 days of 85-degree weather or north, and then late autumn down in New York. It all says FM on the Daily Racing Report, but it's very different, and we are not to that summer firm, rattle your feet that a horse like 4 Stars All-Star always enjoyed. It has, I think, significant give in it, probably normal type of give for jumpers. Like, there's,
some of these especially, you see these, there's more and more in these jump races, you see European pedigrees, because a lot of our, the jump.
How long did you live in Delaware? Were you in the Mid-Atlantic down there?
In the Mid-Atlantic, I was down
Newark,
there
as you told me, for like, it was pronounced.
6 or 7 years.
That's a serious
I don't
investment.
think I ever said told you that, because that's like the first time I've ever heard that.
Newark? No, you told me it. I said I'm in Newark, Delaware, and you told me that it's an artsy, nice town. They don't pronounce it that way.
Well, if you just asked me where the
you've heard of the town, right? It's a pretty big.
I would be like, yeah, it's Newark, Delaware. So I don't think that was me.
All right then. Maybe I got it wrong. It was you.
Newark, Delaware.
Because you're the one. It's a nice. You've been there, right?
Yeah, it's a cool little town. It's kind of almost.
You told me.
Saratoga-like.
Yeah, that's what you told me.
It's like you. 3 blocks long. It's on the border of, because Fair Hill, when I worked at the Clancy's and
that's
ST,
where this is headed.
It's essentially a mile away, but it's in Fair Hill, Maryland.
All right, leading us into, because this did have a point, the Grade 1 AP Smithwick, and I remember when. What? Why are you laughing?
The point was you have nothing to offer on the steeplechase race. I might as well talk about like something where it's
geography.
And stuff.
But one of the things I will say is, I remember when this, you don't like memorials, but when this race started, and it's worked its way up to a Grade 1, because for my whole lifetime, there was the, starting in 1970s, probably around 73, 74, the Grade 1 New York Turf Riders, and then now we have 2, and we have for years, a decade or so, 2 Grade 1 turf races. And no, I have very little to add. Let's see. And
653 for me. I had Sean Clancy on Racing Across America yesterday, and his Riverdee stable owns.
It's a guy that hasn't aged an hour, by the way.
Yeah.
Tell him I said hello. I don't see him very much.
He's
but my goodness, he looks the same he did 15 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. And he said, he's won Grade 1 races as a jockey. He's going to try to win one as an owner. A good weight shift with Gibberfaro over Galway Kid, and Galway Kid beat him at Great Meadow Gold Cup Day. But now the weight shift is a lot better today. Equal weights. And that's a big deal.
Is this his horse? Is this
this is Riverdee stable of Sean.
Okay, very nice.
Yep. So 653 for me. Baltimore Bucko underneath. Kerry Briand, Jonathan Shepard's former assistant. How about that?
You say so. Has Jonathan Shepard?
He's retired. He's now living in Europe. Yeah, left us, the master.
See, that winning streak was important to him. He had that winning streak
47.
snapped, and he said, "That's it.
47
I can't get it done anymore. It must be time." What we're referring to is he won a race up here, and obviously for many years it was steeplechasing.
How many people that know racing? I don't want to.
Oh, this is.
I don't want to say I don't want to be like us. That's snobby. That's not my point. But how many people that know racing
that he trained Stormcat?
That he trained Stormcat? 10, 20%?
3, 5, 2. I'll give you a better one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
What was the listed owner?
It wasn't Overbrook? Just William T. Young?
Close, but there's another word or two that people were like, what are they talking about?
Oh, no.
William T. Young Storage.
Oh, no.
But, he wasn't Overbrook in the thing yet. But for those of us who still have a 1985 Breeders' Cup program.
You know what's funny?
Jonathan Shepard, trainer, who I think ran in 2 maiden special weight races at Saratoga.
Okay.
I think so, before his brilliant performance at the Meadowlands and then his near victory.
Young American Stakes?
Young American.
Grade 1,
American,
I believe, correct?
Yeah. Miles 16th under the lights.
Since we're on this tangent, let's go deeper. For whatever reason, I was thinking about Overbrook Farm the other day. Oh. Lord only knows why. And when he passed, I believe his grandson, had a few horses, but they are just gone. And it's sad, and it's a shame, and
shows how great the Phipps dynasty was.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. They've kept it up, and they're still strong. They're not what they were, obviously, but they are keeping on. And, you know, the white.
How about the Lewises for
green,
us with Serena's Song, those
there you
University
go.
of Oregon
But you would
colors.
still see a 1 or 2 pop up. Overbrook has just been gone. I actually meant to look it up on Equibase and see the last time.
Well, I know Christophe Clement had their last horse.
Yeah.
As far as I shouldn't say.
And
I
they
know.
had the
That's what I
dispersal,
believe.
not, you know, Flanders and Surfside were sold not too long ago.
And I will say this: there was a big gap after Stormcat.
Yeah.
Like before they.
Yeah, probably, you know, the 94, you know.
Big gap.
those
It was
kinda
Stormcat came. I
Cat
think
Thieves and Timber Countries and
you
those
got
kind
it.
of horses.
I think
probably.
the MiG.
Flanders, of course.
Here you go. I think the MiG might have ridden Stormcat to his last victory. I think that's the case. Your turn.
Yeah, those are good times. Race 2. Now, race 2 kicks off the pick 5. Don't forget that, okay? Kicks off the pick 5. It's a $50,000 maiden claimer. 3 and up. I thought this was a pretty good race.
I agree.
I was going to have my play of the day in here. I went elsewhere. I thought this was a good race. Yeah, this is the only horse you can bet, I think.
I
This
think
is not
so.
surprising to me.
I think so. On the outside, Kelly Breen, who has had one Friday and Saturday, a couple horses. Maddie's Express, big price on Saturday.
10,
you know.
9, 10. That's what
10,
made
10,
the,
at
made
least
the pick
10.
5.
I think it was like $23 or something. This horse was, sharp on debut down at Turfway Park. That's, one of the places that really never took any heat for the artificial surface. I think people always understood that the weather and everything, they needed it.
Absolutely.
That was the type of environment that
They were the
needed
one
it.
track in the world that needed it.
To run races, etc. But the biggest angle for me, New Barn, but it's first time in for a tag. We're on the outside. Jose Ortiz, Recidivist, is my top pick. The 7. And I kind of felt, you think...
This horse might be favored, by the way.
That's it. I think this is going to be the favorite in the race, ladies and gentlemen. For a second, the horse who's the morning line favorite, number 3, Wicked Mad, who's adding blinkers for the 4th career start, ran for a tag for the first time in the most recent effort down at Churchill Downs, also going 6th, and for third, number 4, the veteran in the group, making the 18th start, Kelly Breen's other horse, number 4, Point of Humor. And I will say this about, you have to look through it, parse it, etc. But this horse has 2 dirt races. One was a runner-up position in December. I'm Luis Saez in the saddle. Point of Humor, will intrigue me in this race as the other Kelly Breen horse. But 7-3-4 in the second.
The only thing I will add, because you've said everything but this, is that as a guy that follows Monmouth for different purposes. This horse could easily be at Monmouth, and he's popping up right here on Saratoga.
Oh, in other words, so he went into deeper waters.
We are ready to roll today.
Instead of taking maybe perhaps
Don't
lesser
be surprised
competition.
when you look up and Recidivist is 8-5. So
yeah, I think, we've said it before. David Aragona does a great,
as good as there is,
job. I mean, we are very well served by having somebody who makes a great morning line. It's very, very important in the game. On to the third race, going 7/8 fillies and mares in for 12-5.
3-1A2. You and I are going to stick around for Racing Across America. I've got a replay of Mongolian Humor coming up. This is Randy Purcell. He's wheeling right back. This horse ran on the 16th. Here we are today on the 22nd. 2 turns to 1. We get all the benefit of saving ground today, which I'll show on Racing Across America. He certainly did not save any ground. This horse ran a 7 last time on the sheets. That fits nicely with a group like this. I think there's some speed in here that he can get, and he's not going to be that far off with plenty of foundation. He'll be a square price. Violent Trick, to me, is the better of the Potts entry. I would think just 1 starts with Jose named on both, and then number 2, we got to go outside for number 2 because there's an entry there as well. Sirenic, we'll call it, for Linda Rice. I haven't said this, or maybe I said it last week. I'm not sure. I don't even know what day it is, but I'm going to fade Linda Rice at this meet. She can win without me.
All right.
I'm going to fade
Yeah,
her.
quick note, both of the 2 entries, they draw the outside, which could be beneficial. One thing I'll say about Mongolian Humor I have in here, and you talk about the 7 they received on the sheets. Now, I don't know the sheets inside out, but one of the things that I always liked about them was they gave added points for losing ground. And he was 4 wide on both turns.
He was more than 4 wide on the first turn, which we'll show.
Which is bad, based on geometry. And route racing at Saratoga, 1.8 miles, doing it twice is is really rough. But I did think outside was better on opening day, particularly on dirt races. But what I always wanted to say was the thing that I thought was funny with the sheets, in particular at Belmont Park, is they give credit for the geometry angle of running more ground, but sometimes that was the better highway to be on it. I was like, the balcony, you're like, well, you're giving them credit for something that's advantageous, not disadvantageous. I see it, the other way. I have Linda Rice on top here, stretching from 6.5 down at Parks, making the third start since the early part of spring. I'm 2-1A, same. The Violent Trick and the 3, they're both coming off of July 16th, so they're wheeling right back on 6 days rest. But I see a 2-1A and 3 in the third.
Race 4, sneak one more in before the break. It is a $35,000 3L Fillies and Mares going 7 furlongs main track.
Intriguing race. I always like when he puts up the numbers here to see where you went. I'm 5-2-7. Oh, that's terrible television. Really? Okay, I agree. I mean, I'm not worried about Dancing Kiki. I mean, that's okay. That's fine. But Tenderness apparently is where we both ended up. I think this is a live one for Wayne Potts, who had a very good spring in New York and other places. Makes the third start of the year. I've talked about that angle for me very often. Won the 2L coming off the bench. Now we'll try this level for the first time after trying the Capital B and being picked for $20,000. I do have Dancing Kiki. A long time ago, Ryan, I mean a long time ago, many trainers, Jimmy Ryerson, who
mentioned him on the phone to me
and
yesterday.
It's
like kind of eerie stuff.
It was eerie.
When's the last time Jimmy Ryerson came up in a conversation, for goodness sakes? Except when
I had
a drink with him at 9 Maple a few years ago.
Yes, but you and I talk about it. And that was funny. But I had already sent in these picks long before Jimmy Ryerson won the finale. But long time ago, trainers that had dirt horses, sprinters or something, would try turf racing. Remember, there weren't a lot of turf efforts, really, for just like foundation, just to get a little foundation, and the effort might have been better than you would have hoped for. But now he comes back to the dirt, and I expect a good effort, but certainly doesn't warrant 9 to 5 or less, and then stunning Munnings, $25,000. I mean, I've said this before. One of the things that way out, usually in column, I want to say X or something. I can look it up over here. I put the stallions. And the only thing that it does for me particularly is on different circuits and everything, when they're young stallions, they pop up. And right away, I knew Declaration of War was winning races that dirt races, short was surprising. And Munnings was winning everywhere. And I think he had a winner again yesterday. So he's just kind of a horse that I didn't really think much as a runner, but he's turning out to be a good son of Spicetown. And Spicetown has that other stallion, Spicester, who's kind of showing up in my columns also.
Yeah.
So, but
Munnings
I'm 5-2-7.
Munnings was, one of those.
I think he won
Michael Tabor, hot shot kind of horses that you maybe thought would better. The one that comes to mind is Bonnie South, and she's winning 9 furlong 2-turn races on the dirt. I don't think Munnings ever ran past 7.
No, and that's the part that has the most interest for me is when they're doing. As I said, Declaration of War was winning 6 furlong. His offspring were winning 6 furlong dirt races.
Well, Spicetown's another great example. He's China Travers winner. You know what I mean? So it's they didn't get the chance to do it on the track, but
you know what else he did?
Sons
don't
and
you?
daughters won a terrible Eclipse Award that he shouldn't have had any business winning.
Who should have won it that year?
Pico Central.
You're probably right.
I am right.
Of course, Pico Central, I think, paid like $75 to win the San Carlos.
He missed he didn't go to the
Breeders' Cup.
And that in Spicetown, won it at Lone Star.
I think, and I sent you this text once a long time about Spicetown. I think the first time we ran baby races at 9 furlongs on the dirt here. Remember we ran Spicetown, I think, sired.
Yeah.
I think we run like 3 of them in
so
totality.
Like 207 and 2 or something like that.
Not quite. But we'll take a quick break. When we come back, more live from the backstretch of Saratoga Racecourse.
Welcome to the West. I'm Scott Varley at Saratoga's latest and greatest high-rise luxury condo. Starting in the mid-5s, every condo here has 2 bedrooms and 2 baths and upgrades just like this. Check out these oversized private balconies. We also have a gym, a private lounge, and get this, a heated parking garage. To make a reservation for your private condo at the West, call or text me. I'm Scott Varley at 518-281-6808.
Capital OTB is now streaming live on Roku. The RTN Racing channel on Roku lets you watch OTB TV live through your Roku device or your Amazon Fire Stick, rather than being limited to computers and mobile devices, which means you can now watch OTB live wherever you are. Simply open Roku, scroll to find the RTN channel, then click on OTB TV. OTB TV on Roku. Try it now.
Come on.
I want sales reports on my desk by Monday.
Whoops. My bad.
Love racing? RTN brings you every live simulcast on your home television, plus live video streaming and race replays on your PC and mobile devices. To order, visit rtn.tv. RTN, a breed apart.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Handicappers Report alongside Brian Nadeau. I am Anthony Mormino, up to race number 5 on Thursday. As of this moment, on the turf, 2-year-old fillies, maiden special weights, 1 mile and a 16th. And we were talking yesterday. Apparently, this must not be the race because even with the 3 MTOs, which are the 5, the 7, and the 11, still kind of solid. I think 7 entered for the turf, if my math is right. I think in the old days it might have been 22 in split division when they first started.
8 entered for the turf.
8, okay, 8 entered in for the turf. This used to be when they stopped running a mile, which was crazy on the first turn. These became enormously, very, very popular races. Trainers loved them and get a chance to run 2 turns in New York.
Yeah. You know, I would check the board here. If the 4 is bet off the board, she's going to win. We have the same 2. I just have them reversed. You know, I'm sure you did the pedigree work here. There's just nothing here. There's not. I mean, the 3 is a full the Sadler's Joy. Okay, that's fine. I don't see Tom Albatrani, and we love Tom, but I don't see him winning with a first-time starter, 2-year-old filly that's full the Sadler's Joy. I would think, you know, this is going to get. We need to go forward here. We're going to get a starting jumping off point, and then we'll build off this. I don't know. Oh, you know what? You're right. There is only 7 because I looked at Miss Intrepid. I thought she was turf as well, but no. There's when they lump 2 MTOs together like that, it always
it's not easy.
Fools me somewhat. You know, 4-10-3 for me, and again, I'll mention the 1 sheet, and I'll update these online with scratches and all that kind of stuff, but. You look through the body of this field, there's not a lot of pedigree, and here's Chad, and here's Klarvich Stable, and Irad with a European pedigree. The second foal out of the dam, first one was unraced, big number on the turf here, and expand the map to me if the money shows is going to be tough. Chad and Seth Klarman already won with a first-time starter the other day that looked really, really good doing it.
City.
And got bet that day too. So,
yes.
Yeah.
Well, good memory.
So,
I needed my work.
I like your horse. I picked your horse in second. The post is very well. There's only 7. It's still not ideal, especially if one of these gals gets a little hot and bothered into that first turn.
And what intrigued me often about these, there was a lot of discussion. Just as you were getting in the game, I think they stopped running the mile races for juveniles on the turf, which was the inner. And obviously the short run into the first turn, the tightness of the turns, it was crazy on the Nelson Avenue turn. It was like rodeo. And I thought, you know, so now there's a longer trip. I always thought maybe they'd try the Mellon turf course for a little softer turn to go the mile into 16. Pizza Bianca, White Pizza, Bobby Flay, owner, breeder. Outside just where I went, I thought it was, you know, the reasonable second choice to go to, I guess third choice, misinterpret, but Dark Angel, who sired the Diana winner, is 6-5 on the board. I mean, this is one of those things, and Brian says it often. Boy, this horse is 3-1, run away.
Yeah,
you know, this horse is 6-5 on the morning line, which really can't be a good position for David to be in with a morning line firster.
I kind of wonder if we missed the boat here. Is there or something on this horse? Now, again, there's not a lot in here, but that's an aggressive morning line.
Very
and David
aggressive.
is in the loop, as we mentioned, as anyone. So maybe there's a little steam
Right.
on this horse.
Well, I tell you, I've only heard on
surprising
4
at all.
horses in 20 years here, and 3 of them have won. So,
Right.
but that's not it.
Right.
So it's 10-4-6 for me. Just a tough, place to have a big opinion, which 6-5 is, unless you see a jiggy jog by 4 races, 4 lengths under wraps.
Race 6, late pick 5 time, 3:55 in the PM. This is Steve Bick's Depaula play of the day, by the way. Dairy and the 3, so take note of that. It's a state bred maiden special weight, 2-year-old fillies, 5.5 on the melon.
And in here, the 11 is the MTO, 10 scheduled to go. I didn't have, I should say, I like my top pick. It's not a big opinion. The horse has never run before, but Cantheros was another horse when he was a young stallion his first year. He kept popping up. Now, wasn't he a horse like for Steve Assis? Only ran about
twice, 2
or 3 times, won the stakes up here and never ran again.
I think he ran twice.
Twice, okay. And he, immediately, you wouldn't be surprised, precocious runners, etc. And, I'm 7-2-1 in here. You have the 7 for second. Quick Power Nap, and Steve Bick at the end of his, threw that one out. Jorge Abreu, who's nearly 30% with firsters, and the field size is 28.
Yeah, it's not
and
like
the daily, there was a horse. I'll never forget this. And you talk about petering out. You remember Bob Baffert's Forest Camp, the 2-year-old?
Of course.
When he was
Aaron Marie Jones.
And yes, absolutely, the red and white silks. When he was a stallion, by the time he came to Saratoga, he was like 5 for 8. I think he sired about 9 winners in his entire career, but right out of the box. But that's not the case with Jorge Abreu, who is of good field size. It's a firster. I have no thoughts on works. They meant a lot more to me when I was much younger. For second, another Cantheros, Rudy Rodriguez, number 2, Saratoga Kisses, as blinkers today. For the 3rd career start is Inside, and for 3rd, the hedge, number 1, Our Tiny Dancer, off what I thought was a good debut at 20-1. Won't get that price. Now is Inside, and as Brian said, you got to show some energy probably to get position, and Benji Hernandez is going to have to get Our Tiny Dancer out once again, but a completely different scenario when there's a 6-horse field and you're breaking from post 4. Now it's a 10-horse field and you're breaking from post 1, but 7-1 in the 6th.
Stick around for Racing Across America because, well, you should anyway, but I mean, this race kicks off the late pick 5, and Anthony and I are going to dig into this a little bit more because it is a fascinating race. I think Steve's horse is a must-use A. 5-2 seems.
Now, did you think that was another
me,
strong? Like that's first time 5-2.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, it is a strong morning line. I went 10-7, 3-6 outside open company. Captain's Daughter at Monmo. Russell Cash, who you know darn well, scored for you on the bankroll.
Outside.
Yeah. Something B, Monster B. Right? Wasn't that it?
No, that was the Adam Rice.
Oh, Adam Rice. Okay, but that was Monster B, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. But he comes up here and he tries to sneak one by. This horse debuted in open company, a little tightener at Monmouth, was a very good second. At a giant number. I'm going to get a square price today. He reaches for a jockey in Manny Franco, so that's a good sign. Outside attack post, showed speed on debut, and it's going to be a square price in a race where I just don't really trust anyone. I have no strong opinion, so I know my partner likes to look for value. I'm going to do it here. Quick Power Nap, certainly, and Darien is definitely in the mix as well.
I think this is like I don't know, of the horses that have run, this is the guy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, this is the guy. So unless I would think unless the 3 or the 7, I don't think so much the 6, but I could be wrong there.
If the 3's good, she's going to be very problematic for this field. I would readily admit to that.
I think the 7 could be in the same position. I mean,
for sure.
Why is the 7 not like heck to pay?
Yeah.
The Cantheros for West Point Thoroughbreds, get that in there. So intriguing race, which once again we will I will tiptoe through the tulips in a pick 5 play. Now or the next race?
Let's do one more.
One more? All right, 7th race, 3 rolls it up. Fillies and Mares in for 16. Non-winners to 2 lifetime. Racing 6.
Good luck here. 5, 7, 6, 10, 9 for me. So you can tell right away. I don't have a strong opinion, but Cause to Dream is going to be the other replay.
It's 60% of the field.
Yeah, right. There we go. Cause to Dream is going to be the other replay we show for my side on Racing Across America. This horse just got strung out wide pretty much the entire way. Still fought on behind an easy winner last time. The blinkers go on today for a little more focus. I thought that was a very, very good run. Second off the barn change. There should be some speed in here to run into and Cause to Dream. If she can repeat that last one at what should be a square price, will be, in the mix with a group like this. And I just want some value. Red Pepper Girl is another one.
Munnings.
Yeah, there's Munnings again. Second off the layoff, we go from 2 turns to 1. An optional claimer at Parks in for a 16-2L here at Saratoga. I would think she's ready to roll today. And number 6, Quantitative Breezin' for Brad Cox, who's off to a very fast start. No surprise there. Ran fine against winners last time for 40. Now drops for 16. Somebody please claim me. I got to put someone else in this stall up here. So 5, 7, 6. Throw in the 10. Throw in the 9. And you're going to talk about one more different one.
Oh, a couple more. Interesting that there's 10 horses. We've put 6 up on the board. There's there's 3 4-year-olds, of which only 1 is on the board, and the other 2 are the 3 and the 1A, which are long prices in here. But the other one, the 1, at a huge price in here, which is I've said this many times before. When I am of the belief that when you don't have an opinion, you're not supposed to land on the favorite. Right. I think it's a easy way out, but I've always felt that the favorite is supposed to not so much jump off of the page for you, but supposed to be there. And if you look at this race and,
who is the favorite in this race? The 6, I guess?
On the morning line? Yeah, 7-2.
Yeah, makes sense.
No, Traffic Lane, 3-1. Rudy Rodriguez on the outside. Blinkers is with Irad Ortiz is the morning line favorites. I look way out there. But so for me at 15-1 in a wide open race, I take one of the 3-year-olds who, tried turf most recently. But, I'm sprinting at 6 furlongs has shown a strong propensity for hitting the board. And who the heck you're supposed to be afraid of? I mean, if you take one thing, I do like to see the Beyer speed figures here, and a lot of times it comes up NA. But the Beyer par to win the race, and it says 65. Well,
yeah, that'll be win by 9. Come on.
And Busted my group could do that. You like to see a 65 put up here, but it's just to me a wide open race, and you go for a price at that point. For a second on the outside, number 10, Chloe Rose. For Bruce Brown, picked off for $30,000, tried turf, now comes back to the dirt. And My Alluring Lady, Danny Gargan, who has a couple winners here, I think on Sunday, but breakfast at Bonnie's and awesome.
Yeah, all out really. At 3 to 5 and an off the turfer.
Yeah, and we have blinkers on. So a wide open race here, as you see. Well, as you saw, we had 6 of the 10 covered, and one of the ones we didn't have covered is probably going to be north of 25-1.
Yeah, she's got the proverbial slash. Nikki Scissors. Can't win.
They can't win.
Another break.
How many slashes you have for the late George tomorrow? 0. Take a quick break. We'll be right back with the final pick 3.
A day at the track isn't complete without a night at the Horseshoe. Great food, hot music, and cold drinks. So why go downtown when all the action's just across from the track? The Horseshoe Inn at the corner of Nelson and Gridley.
Capital OTB is now streaming live on Roku. The RTN Racing channel on Roku lets you watch OTB TV live through your Roku device or your Amazon Fire Stick, rather than being limited to computers and mobile devices, which means you can now watch OTB live wherever you are. Simply open Roku, scroll to find the RTN channel, then click on OTB TV. OTB TV on Roku. Try it now.
Where's the best place to find your favorite teams, your favorite food, daily drink specials, and wagering on live horse racing? Legends Field Sports Bar, 711 Central Avenue, Albany. Get your game on day or night with 75 flat-screen TVs, tournament-style pool tables, a private banquet room, and live horse racing. So if someone asks you, where's the best sports bar in the Capital Region? Tell them Legends Field Sports Bar, inside the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Handicappers Report. Just another other thing. I didn't think I could, if I had a moment, I could sort an enforceable for Mark Cassidy, $4.20 in 2019.
Yeah, Jack Oxley,
I don't,
enforceable, still kicking around.
I don't think
Fairgrounds.
I don't think there's been too many, but I could figure it out. But I thought there's probably only been, I think, less than a handful. But Spice Town, I think, won the first one. On to the 8th race, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I love the miles on the inner turf, and I love 3-turn turf racing in New York, and that's what we have in the 8th race. 3-year-olds and up, fillies and mares in for 80, non-winners of 2, other than 11 furlongs on the inner.
I didn't want to pick Lovely Lucky, but man,
okay,
she's got to win. I don't know. It's just not. It's like, okay, I don't trust this horse. They're kind of like giving up a little bit and saying, well, we can't cut it in the stakes races. Let's drop back. And you know, listen, I get to run for 105,000. Don't get me wrong. So you know.
You don't think she's prepping for another run at the Glens Falls
here?
Yeah,
it's quite possible, but she's just done really good up here. You look at her two best races over the inner right here at Saratoga, and they're you know, a month the best. And then you look at the rest of these gals. Where'd you go with 3? I mean, ugh. Yikes! I mean, maybe, you know, Noda
the 1 and the
doing
4
something
are
right.
MTOs,
and you got, all right. So then you say maybe the 2 dangers are the motion horses, and again, I don't think the buyers are the end all be all, but
no.
You got 76 and 74 and 79. That's not cutting it here. So yeah, Lovely Lucky at a short number probably just, to me, outclasses these. It's a fascinating race that we will discuss in the pick 5, because I know this is a race where, you know, kind of gives you a headache in structuring tickets, so to speak. But I'll just put her on top and be done with it. If she doesn't win, I'm okay with it.
Right.
Cats, I guess I go the other motion, Mia Martina. I will say this. The only thing I really have clever to add here is that Graham is stretching out both of these gals, Mia Martina and Cat's Pajamas. And I don't think it's any surprise, as a disciple of Jonathan Shepard, that Graham Motion is as good as there is, stretching horses out on turf. Maybe that helps bridge the gap to Lovely Lucky, but I'll still play her 5 over to 6-2.
When I looked at this race, you're trying to project out weather and thoughts. The one thing I thought maybe that would scare me about my top 2 picks here was, according to the Daily Racing Form, they've never raced with what I think is noticeable give in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So if you like Mia Martini, who in the Christiana Stables ran 3rd on a soft surface in the brilliant hands of Graham Motion, who had the wrong other runner win on what was opening day for me. You know, he's got 2 live ones here. To me, it was who did I want over Lovely Lucky, who is clearly the horse to beat in here. And it was really probably just the, you know, Orlando Noda angle and Joel Rosario just come running in the stretch, save ground. You got the number 2 post position. You're an outstanding jockey. Just get position and see if Lovely Lucky, who's run once since last October, is looking for some foundation for the Glens Falls. Mm-hmm. And this is the time you beat her. And that's really all I have. I mean, not much in here. I have Cat's Pajamas as the Graham Motion horse in here, but probably went the wrong direction. I probably should have Mia Martini in 3rd, not Cat's Pajamas. But, you know, I like these races in that it's pretty obvious on the board who the horse to beat is, and you try and take one, and, you know, you take your chances.
I did just look up to see if we could find some course condition. I did not see it. But it'll have some given to it.
Well, I heard you the other day. You called out our life raft, Mark Henning. You know, Mark, this is
put us on.
Starting to realize your level of importance is.
The 9th is a fun race. It's actually my play of the day. It's a kind of I don't know if it's a stab, but we'll see in a second. It's a 1X fillies and mares, 3 and up. We go 9 furlongs on the main track.
Are you kidding me?
And there's
look up.
Yeah, I see it.
Oh, you saw it.
I see it. I feel like it's a dangerous thing to say in the year 2021. I feel like there's some speed in this race.
I wouldn't say it. I mean, you might think it, and if certain actors played their role, you'd be like, okay, here we go, and now we can see if. But we see it the same way. You have Ice Princess here for Danny Gargan, who was, got going. He
has.
To win, he won races. Yep. And he's had 2 horses, hit the board that didn't win races. He's run limited stock. He has Irad Ortiz in the saddle. You can probably figure this out, but the 5 interests me greatly because it's 2 turns, but he's an offspring of Dialed In for Al Stoll, who's had 2 races under the belt, including winning on debut at 15-1, and Luis Saez has been pushing a lot of right buttons.
Huge fan. Of Luis Saez. Huge fan.
And I thought, even though the odds might not say it, I thought that was the reasonable first option after Ice Princess. I know it's not the next price one, but if I wanted to buy on the come, this was the horse I wanted.
The only option.
And so Portilla is my top pick, and you hope the distance to ground, and you hope because I do think I need to be successful here. Some hitting going on up front. If you're looking at the debut race, I've said this before, the 21-1 for the opening quarter mile, and it's just not that much to get excited about because of that 120-foot run-up that I've tried to
Now, she'll be closer on the stretch.
At Churchill today. Yes, because they're going to be closer to her. Right. She's just going to do her thing. Yes. They're just going to stay within shouting distance. Ice Princess, my second pick. Comeback race was on the turf. I think that was getting ready for this spot. Hoping they can build on this going forward. And for third, number 2, Long Pants Required. One of my favorite sayings in the game for Brendan Walsh. But 5-3-2 for me.
Yeah, this is my play of the day, Portilla. I didn't love her last race, but it was fine too. It's she's facing winners. She was 15-1 on debut. She needs to move forward. There's no doubt about it. But I think in the third start of her career, stretching out to 2 turns in what both my partner and I think is an advantageous flow in here, she's supposed to move forward. I don't love Dialed In at 9 furlongs. I know he won the Florida Derby. It was an ugly race.
Right.
Giants Causeway on the bottom is what really has me liking this one here. And as you kind of alluded to, she's the one you just kind of have to go
I
to
think
if
so.
you don't like the 3. And it's not like I don't like her. I mean, she's an A. We'll talk about it in 20 minutes, 30 minutes or so. All right, so she's going to run her 78, 80 buyer. That's fine. It might win this race. It very well might win this race. But as he said, Portilla's seemingly, I think, going that way, and she's got a big reason to improve today. Put her on top. And then you mentioned, too, Long Pants Required, another one that I think it hits the flow of this race nicely. And she should theoretically be running on late, too. Same ones, 5-3-2 to me.
In the finale, State Breds, 3-year-olds up, fillies and mares, maiden claimers in for 40, going 5.5. I thought one of the most interesting races on the card.
Yeah, you're not getting 6-1 on Orma, right? Jimmy Bond doing it.
He's trying to chase last year.
Doing his thing again up here. 2-12-4 for me, and I do like Orma. Bond, Saez, they print money up here. It's remarkable. The success rate they have, 34%. They didn't win in the finale yesterday. They ran 3rd, but so that dips a little bit. But boy, these two, you get them up here together, and they're Rinaldi won New York bred winning the Forbidden Apple the other day, doing it in good form too.
Now here's a
people
good,
are onto him up here.
Even with that said, he was the favorite in the Forbidden Apple.
Yeah, he was the favorite. He's low speed on paper. I mean,
I liked him. He was my top pick, but I was like,
I'm not betting him at 2-1. If you remember too, I don't know if it was the
also the point with Bo Liam. Like, people are like, I don't want him.
Well, how about the Pletcher horse open at 6? I mean, that was like, okay, he can't win at all, and he was they ran. Those 2 horses ran a 106
No, I didn't.
Yeah. Big.
I thought it was a big effort. You know, not to the same level because we stand the same. I mean, when Go Zapper just beat Clock Stopper, it was a huge performance by an odds-on horse, and I do think.
But Whittle was going to win off the far turn. Who do you want off the far turn? Whittle. Yeah.
He was for a horse who was even money. He was really good to win a race, I thought. So you have Ormont.
Stella Mars or my buddy Brian Hahn and Dark Horse Racing should run well. And if she runs back to that second last time, I mean, that's a race that's going to be very difficult for the rest of these. And then number 4, Social Whirl, maybe gets loose for Tom Morley and Javier. I don't know. But 2-12-4 for me.
Was New York Supreme the favorite the day Robin Sparkles became Robin Sparkles?
You know, my buddy AJ texted me this morning. He's like, we need this horse in the pick 5. Okay. Tommy,
the 11?
Tommy Bush, yeah. Tommy Bush is a big fan. And Tommy made our pick 6 last year on closing day for a big number. So got AJ free dinner, too.
Wow. I thought it was wide. As a matter of fact, I actually sent in 4 picks. I have the deuces in here also with my craziness of Love's Misery at 20-1, getting Lasix after a good seasonal debut for 75 to 80% of the race. Dorothy's the Boss, first time in the tag for John Kimmel. So 11-7-10-2.
Robin Sparkles is a 7-5 in the Caress on Saturday. Great.
Well, I think it wasn't that the race
she's not the morning line favorite.
She became. Yeah. That's what she became, and this horse was the chalk over her.
She's good.
Man, how stuff changes. All right, that wraps it up, right?
That's it, right? Stay tuned.
We just do a little house cleaning, and we'll be right back.
Flop here, racing across America when we come back. Stay tuned.
You've been watching the Handicappers Report. The Handicappers Report has been brought to you by Pinnell's Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, Saratoga, just minutes from the track. The new Capital OTB wagering platform. Bet any place, anytime with the new Capital OTB wagering platform. And CapitalOTBBet.com, the premier wagering site in New York State.